That's right, Vindog. SummerSlam 2014 is going down to Sunday, and now we have, I'm honored to have him.
A true legend.
Man.
A WWE legend amongst many other promotions beforehand as well.
Yes, very much. And before that, a rock and roll singer. We're going to talk to him about that. But the mouth of the South, Jimmy Hart, is with us.
Man, it's great to be here this morning.
The voice, man. Just talking to him, it's almost unbelievable that you're sitting here with us right now. We're interviewing you.
Eric is getting goosebumps, Jimmy, is what he's trying to say.
I am.
Listen, if I was back in Memphis with Jerry the King Lawler, I'd be managing Eric. He'd be in the ring. I'm telling you right now. He'd be in the ring. We'd get that belt from Lawler once and for all. I'm telling you that right now.
What kind of gimmick would you slap on Eric?
What would my character be?
You'd be a chia pet. Would he grow hair? I'm just wondering, because Jimmy has a great set of hair.
Yes, he does.
A full head of hair.
I'd probably team you with Joe LeDuc back then.
Okay.
I want to be part of Brutus the Barber Beefcake and the Valentine, so he could have cut my hair, and then that's why I'm bald.
Was that the Dream Team?
The Dream Team, yeah.
Yes.
Later on, we had the Mega Maniacs with me and Hulk and Brutus, but that would have been the Dream Team back then.
My goodness.
Out of everyone that you've managed.
And it's a whole host of names. Let me run off a couple. Of course, the Nasty Boys.
Yeah.
You had Earthquake. Hulk Hogan, obviously the biggest. And you still manage Hulk.
Well, we've been together over 32 years. Can you
My
believe
goodness.
that? But can you believe this? WrestleMania 1, I had King Kong Bundy before I traded him to Bobby and Greg the Hammer Valentine.
Mm-hmm.
Then I had Bret Hart, Neidhart.
Yeah, the Hart Foundation.
Then I had the Hart Foundation. Then I had the Rougeau brothers, Jock and Raymond, the Honky Tonk Man, Greg.
Honky Tonk Man.
And then we came back. I had King Kong Bundy, who I traded to Bobby for Dino Bravo and the Missing Link. Then I came back and had, then all of a sudden I had Terry Funk and Dory Funk, Earthquake and Typhoon. We had the wrestling referee, Dangerous Danny Davis.
I remember.
And
Danny.
so, of course,
Is he the one that had the twin?
No, that
the
was
Hebner brothers.
The Hebner brothers.
That's right.
The Hebners had that.
That's
But
Earl
the
and
list
Dave.
goes on and on. But I've been so blessed to be part of this for so many years. You know.
Jimmy is a true legend. He's been in the industry for such a long time, and he's not stopping anytime soon.
Well, I hope not. You know, like I said, every time we get ready to hang it up, they bring us back. So I'm like a pimple on prom night. It's hard to get rid of me.
I'm disappointed the megaphone's not here. Where's the megaphone at?
You know what? I was going to bring the megaphone.
Is it too early for the megaphone, Jimmy?
The megaphone wouldn't get up with me. I looked at the megaphone. The megaphone goes.
The megaphone was still in
brother,
bed.
not tonight, baby. I had to call Huck and get him up at 5 o'clock this morning. So he's doing another little tour this morning. Then we meet up later on this afternoon to do a tour together.
What did you guys do for his birthday?
Well,
oh my God!
Raw.
Well, we left Hogan's Beach in Tampa, which we have a big beach bar down there. Y'all are welcome if you ever come in down there. It's great.
Yeah,
but
I've seen pictures of the beach house. It looks nice.
Oh, it's phenomenal. You know, we have all kinds
and
of groups
Hogan's Nick spins there. He DJs
Nick's
there,
been
right?
down there. We have Afrojack and Dash Berlin, a lot of those electronic groups, and we have country night, Latin night. I mean, you name it. We got
a whole variety. Yeah,
we're gonna have to talk because we're doing a show with Afrojack in 2 weeks in Las Vegas.
Oh my God! When you see him, please ask him how you like Hogan's Beach. He was great. But what also on Hogan's birthday, we went to Portland.
Okay.
And Ric Flair came in the ring with us. We had Nash Hall in the ring. We had Mr. Wonderful Paul Orndorff.
I saw that.
We had Roddy Piper. Mean Gene was there. So it was like a homecoming. It was almost like a Legends House in the ring in Portland.
And
but it was a great night.
And if you missed the second half of it, it's because you don't have the WWE Network
for
$9.99.
$9.99.
And the one thing I do got to mention, and you talked about the King earlier, is Jerry Lawler did say, because the cake said $9.99 on the cake,
right.
But it was only visible to those that were already subscribed to the network. So what's going on here?
And that's why I like the network too, because you could see everyone that you've managed. You could see all of those matches that you can't watch on you can't watch it anywhere except the WWE Network.
Like
which
Jimmy
you
said,
could get for
you could take it all the way back to WrestleMania 1.
Yes.
When Jimmy was there.
Yes.
And also SummerSlam is coming up, which is Sunday, of course.
Yeah. Yep.
You could jump on that network and pick up SummerSlam.
Yeah, and all the previous SummerSlams.
As a manager, who are some of your predictions for SummerSlam?
Woo! Well, you know what? Here's what. I'd like to see John Cena, win out, of course, and keep the belt. But for some reason, I think Brock Lesnar might slip over this time.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion. I'd like to see John take it and keep it, because he is the man. I love him to death.
I think that's going to be a tough one to keep. And you got to go with the gut, and Jimmy's going with the gut right now.
I'm going with the gut. The Miz. I love Ziggler, but I think the Miz, with those Hollywood sunglasses, might take it.
Well, you have some Hollywood sunglasses on as well.
Well, you know why I wear them out all the time? Because I used to lose them all the time. And when I first started in the WWE, I said, I can't afford to keep losing these sunglasses. So I figure if I just wear them all the time, then I won't lose any of them. I don't wear it to be cool, I tell you that.
Yeah.
And I think I think Bree is going to
You think she's gonna
beat Stephanie McMahon. I think it's
Stephanie?
going to be a great match, so I'm really looking forward to that match.
I
mean, Stephanie ain't no pushover.
No,
Let me tell you something.
we were
Through
talking to
her
Bree earlier, and she said that Stephanie has a whole locker room behind her.
Yeah.
Well,
Or at least the authority can make a call like
that
that.
happen.
They can do anything they want. They can make it a 2 out of 3 match, a cage match.
You never know.
You never know what's going to happen on that. But I think Bree might slip over on this. But I'm telling you, Stephanie, through the years, I mean, I've seen her take pile drivers. She's been hit with kendo sticks. She's been drugged
She's
through.
a tough cookie.
She really is.
She learned from her father.
Yeah,
But
she
you know
did.
what? That's what I love about them, though, is like they don't ask you to do something they don't do themselves. And Vince McMahon
Right.
the same way, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, when Vince was running the show back in the day, and for us, you know, he brought the megaphone back from Japan for me. He gave me that gimmick, which has been awesome.
Yeah.
But look what he's gone through: pile drivers, beat with kendo sticks.
Oh,
I mean,
he's jumped off ladders. You know,
He's done it all.
had his head shoved up big shows. You know what? You know, so they don't ask you to do something they don't do. I'll tell you that now.
Exactly.
Out of all the WWE superstars that are in line right now, who would you like to manage that doesn't have a manager?
Woo, man, that's a good question. I'm probably have to think on that a little bit because all of them are so good. Sometimes guys don't really need a manager.
Yeah.
I
like the managers. They don't
Yeah.
have many
No,
of that.
and that's-
Rusev has it now.
Yeah. A lot of people say, why don't they bring back the managers?
well, you know who
They need
I,
to flip up the gimmicks and give them some managers. Give them a mouthpiece, especially a mouthpiece like
Yeah,
I'll
like
tell
you
you
are
who
the mouth of the
I'll
South.
tell you who I'd like to be with, and I think he's still got some mileage left, even though he's been there a while.
Okay.
Is Ryback.
Okay.
I think.
I think he could use your tutelage, Jimmy.
Well,
Because he's
I-
not a speaker.
I think I'd like to color him up a little bit, make him a little colorful.
Okay.
Because you got to be visual in
Yeah.
this
Yeah.
business. I'm telling you, you got to
Yeah.
be visual.
So would you get rid of the singlet and say, hey, that's
Yeah,
only for RVD?
I think
Flip
yes,
him into something
absolutely.
else.
That's a good call right there.
Yeah.
I think new change in look.
Okay.
I think let him talk some more because I really believe that no matter who you're with, they've got to be able to talk.
Yeah.
But I think it's up to us to kind of
Yeah.
excite the people enough that they want to see what you're bringing to the table.
Exactly, yeah.
And then when they bring to the table, let him have what he's going to say, and then you can close it out to get the people excited more, but to be colorful, you know. But I've always liked him.
All right.
And there's several more, too, but I don't want to be too greedy.
Take them all. Take them all. You deserve it.
Hey, Eric, like you mentioned earlier, that's just complete 360. Go off to another subject. Mouth of the South, before he was in wrestling, he was from
The
a rock
Gentrys.
band, the Gentrys. And a lot of people don't know that. I've seen Jimmy talk about in other interviews. They had a top 5 or top?
Top four, number
Top
four.
four.
Got Keep on Dancing. Number four. It did sell 1 million. We had, believe it or not, we had 4 albums off that one song.
Wow.
Oh my gosh, it was crazy. But a quick story in Los Angeles, California, right out of high school. One of our first tours we did with Dick Clark Productions. They had a show called Cavalcade of Stars, and we did all the tours with the Beach Boys, Sonny and Cher back there.
Wow, that's
and
big.
we went and we filmed out here in California too. They had a show called Where the Action Is.
Okay.
Paul Revere and the Raiders. We did all that stuff. But we played the Whiskey A Go-Go for 2 weeks. Our warm-up group was the Buffalo Springfield, Neil Young, Stephen Stills. They didn't even have an album out then.
Wow.
We'd go next door on our hour break and see Little Richard at the Rainbow Room. Across the street on our next break on some of the days, we'd go see the Turtles at the Troubadour. Across one of the other areas, I forget the name of the place, the Trip, was the Birds. But this was so great back in the 60s area here. But we had Keep on Dancing was our hit. And about 15 years later, or 20 years later, the Bay City Rollers cut it and had $1 million off of it.
Wow.
That's
Sure
a
did.
lot of history right
Yeah.
there. Not only with the wrestling, with the music as
Yeah.
well.
No, and Jimmy wrote a lot of the songs, a lot of the entrance songs, right?
Right,
Can
and
you,
when
can you name
Paul-
a couple for some of our listeners, some of our
Yeah,
viewers?
when Paul Orndorff came to the ring the other night, they played
Yeah.
one we wrote for him in WCW called
Yeah.
Wonderful.
I heard that.
We sure did.
Yeah.
And we did that, so that was a thrill. But we did the Wolfpack for National Hall. We did all the stuff for the Road Warriors, you know. Oh, what a rush.
What a rush, yeah.
Hulk's American Made. Sexy Boy by Shawn Michaels.
Wow.
Dusty Rose, American Dream.
Yeah.
He's just a common man. The Rougeau Brothers, my favorite line. We don't like heavy metal. We don't like rock and roll. All we like to listen to is Barry Manilow. Hey, we're not, you know. But I think I was Weird Al Yankovic before he was Weird Al Yankovic.
Yeah. I think he
But,
stole. I think he
we've
stole
been
your
so
gimmick.
blessed.
And
blessed.
Do you still
Hillbilly Jim-
songwrite, Jimmy? Do you still dabble a little bit in songwriting, or not
You
so
know-
much
you
anymore?
know what? We're writing a new song, but it's country.
Okay.
And let me just I'm going to tell you one verse and one hook.
All
And
right.
this is it. My girl, she loves Kmart. Macy's ain't her thing. We like to eat at the Waffle House, smothered and covered on everything. And every Sunday morning, we watch Joel Osteen because she's just my blue light special. She means everything to me. Yeah. Woo!
There it is.
I just
I
got to
like
find
it.
somebody who's doing the country gimmick and wrestling and write it for him.
Yeah, we need another Hillbilly Jim. Speaking of, he's the one that took you away from the music and brought you to WWE, correct?
Buddy, I was down there in Memphis, Tennessee, and managing down there, and all of a sudden Hillbilly and I were friends. He was Harley Davidson before he went to WWE. He called me one day and said, Jimmy, he said, why aren't you calling Vince McMahon back? And I went, why? And he goes, they got a big show called WrestleMania coming up in 2 months, and Howard Finkel saw your tapes in Memphis, and they want to know, would you like to be part of it? And I went, I thought it was a real. I didn't call back because I thought every time I'd call home, they'd go, Vince McMahon called, and I went, I thought it was Austin Idol or somebody calling me back, give him a ride to the airport or something. I went, no, man, you kidding me? But it all worked out, so I owe it to Hillbilly Jim and Howard Finkel, really.
Awesome. And before we let you get out of here, Jimmy, I got to ask you real quick. You were part of the first inaugural season of Legends House.
Yes.
And since we are on the air in Palm Springs, they were out there in Palm Springs, actually Palm Desert.
Yeah.
How was that experience for you? I watched religiously every Thursday on the WWE Network for $9.99.
$9.99.
And I really you got to see a different side of Jimmy, without the shades, and Jimmy doing his hair in the morning and experiencing, shopping in the grocery store. And
Palm Springs was beautiful. Also, it was cold at night.
Yeah.
Oh, my
Super
gosh,
hot,
was
though.
it cold.
Yeah.
But let me tell you, going downtown, what a great area. But the house we were in was formerly owned by Barbara Sinatra, who was originally married to Harpo Marx.
Oh, wow.
Who, when they divorced, married Frank Sinatra. So that was her house, but WWE came in and fixed it up. In the pool, they had the big logo in the
Immaculate.
pool.
Yeah.
Oh, my God, it was so awesome. And the tennis court had the logo on it, but it was one of the greatest experiences I've ever had in my life to wake up every morning out there.
Yeah.
And
you got to rekindle some old friendships.
Oh, it was just great.
It's
hard
people
to
from
kill
back in the day.
Hard to kill a memory.
Yeah.
It's hard to kill a memory. That might be a good country song for us. That's
There
all
you
three
go.
right.
Write that down.
But-
Put that in your phone.
Yeah.
Actually, Jimmy gets credit, though. He gets credit.
Yeah, but to see Mean Gene and Piper every morning, and Hillbilly Jim, my roommate, and Tony Atlas, and just everybody. It was such a great thrill.
Yeah, good time. Would you ever do it again if they asked you, or would you be a little more reserved?
For $9.99 a month, I am. No, if they asked me to do it again, of course I'd do it again. But it was pretty tough for that 9 weeks, but it was great. It really was.
Awesome.
At a Roddy Piper and Tony Atlas, if they were going to get in the ring today, what would happen?
I think Piper, there's no doubt about it, that'd be a wave in his bag of tricks.
Oh, yeah.
It might be brass knuckles.
The finger poke to the eye.
It could be the magic powder. It could be the bagpipes, but I'm sure Piper would be victorious.
Yeah.
Man, such an honor to have him. Jimmy
Hey,
Hart,
we love
thank
you guys.
so
Thank you
much.
for having us on, man.
Thank you, man.
SummerSlam 2014
This
Sunday
Sunday
night on a WWE Network. You can get it for $9.99.
Jimmy Hart, thank you for joining us.
Love you guys.